All right, students, today we are going to make low-fat brownies. I've decided that this lab is going to take us a little while, so I'm going to pre-measure all of your ingredients for you. The 8th graders have already been using the ovens, so I want you to right now go make sure your oven is the correct temperature. You're going to put it to 350 degrees. The 8th graders have been using it at 425, so don't assume that it's just good to go. The other thing is that on your recipe it says to grease your pan. We're going to use these mini muffin cups. So this is instead of spraying your pan down. So we're just using these mini muffin cups. If I'm on top of it, I will have these ready for you. If not, then you'll just receive the cups and the pan. So setting that aside, I wanted you to have the experience to separate egg whites. Let me show you how it's done. You crack the eggs on the side of a bowl, and what you're going to do is you're going to catch the yolk. So you'll let the white fall into your bowl, but you're not going to let that yolk in, okay? So let me show you again. So we'll crack the egg on the side of the bowl, and then you're going to catch that yolk and gently move it from shell to shell while you collect all of the egg white. So we need 2 egg whites for this recipe. So go ahead and only use the egg white. Now that I have egg on my hands, I need to wash them off. And let's get making our recipe. The first thing we need to do is combine our flour, sugar, cocoa, baking powder, and salt. So our flour, our sugar, baking powder and salt, and cocoa. For this recipe, I'm just using a normal mixing bowl and a rubber spatula. So I'm going to mix these around, make sure that they get evenly distributed so that we have all of the right ingredients in every bite. It says to mix this thoroughly. The next thing we're going to do is combine our wet ingredients in a separate bowl. So let's go ahead and combine our applesauce, our milk, corn syrup, egg whites, and vanilla. If you need to use a spoon to get all of those remaining ingredients out, you can go ahead and do that. So you'll need this for your corn syrup and what it looks like. So we'll go ahead and mix all of these up. These are our low-fat options. So we'll just mix all of these up, okay? The next direction is to stir the liquid and the dry ingredients together. So I'm just going to pour my wet ingredients into my dry ingredients and use my flexible spatula to gently mix those together. Okay, you can use your flexible spatula to evenly distribute all of those ingredients. And you can see how it's turning into a batter. Okay, just like that. So this is what we want. We want a nice batter. The difference between a dough and a batter is that the batter has more liquid to it, has more liquid than flour. A dough has more flour than liquid. So Now that we have this done, we're going to go ahead and bring in our bowl. And I'm just going to use a normal cereal spoon. And I'm going to evenly distribute this into our muffin cups. It might even be a good idea to have 2 spoons now that I'm thinking about it. So we'll go ahead and just fill those up. You want to work fast because we have shorter class periods than we did last term. So we want to finish on time. Okay, so go ahead and fill up those muffin tins. It's okay if it's not perfect. We're going for speed here so that we have time to clean up. Okay. So just grab a spoonful, go ahead and let it, and scrape it off the excess. So now that I've filled up all 12 of them, I'm going to go back and see if I missed any, if some of them need a little bit more batter than others. Just make sure it's as equal as you can possibly get it. So I'm thinking this one needs a little bit more, and probably this one, and this one. Okay, so fill them up as best you can. And what you are going to do now is throw them in the oven for about 15 minutes. So this is why you need to work extra fast so that these have time to bake. So I'm going to throw them in the oven for 15 minutes. Make sure to set your timer and let that go. If you have any extra batter, I wouldn't recommend eating it because of salmonella, because we do still have egg whites in here. Go ahead and throw it away, and don't put it down your sink, because your sinks don't have a disposal on them, so it can clog up those pipes. So if you have extra batter like this, make sure to throw it in the garbage so that our janitors don't have to deal with that mess. And I'm going to go ahead and wash my dishes. So I'm going to keep the camera rolling so that I know how long it takes me to wash this many dishes, to see how well you guys will do on Friday. So enjoy the washing dishes sound effects. Everything is sanitized and clean. Now I'm just waiting for all of my stuff to finish cooking. So I have about 3 minutes left. I'm just going to peek, and they still need, I would say, about 2 minutes in that oven. So what we're looking for is like a soft center that's not completely set and firm edges. I don't know if that makes any sense without seeing them, but the thing is with brownies is that as they cool, they keep cooking, as is the same with other quick breads. So our quick breads, as they sit on your counter after they've been cooking, all of the ingredients on the inside are still hot and they are still cooking. So you don't want to overcook them in the oven, because then you'll end up with a really tough product after it's done cooling. But then you want to cook them for the appropriate amount of time so that they do what they need to. So I'm just going to let that keep going for a couple of minutes. And especially since the ovens will already be hot from the 8th graders, you do want to keep an eye on them so that they don't overcook. So I'll put this here and I'll take out my brownie bites so you can see what's happening. All right, here's what they look like. As you can see, our brownies, the middles are still just a little bit shiny and the edges are completely set. So this is what you'll look for, and let them cool for at least 15 minutes. Thanks, guys.